How's everyone doing today? I have an awesome-tastic horror mail day. I've got Blu-rays, a signed Steelbook, some horror clothing as well. And if you've seen these movies, definitely let me know what you think of them and let me know which one of these is your favorite. Leave me those comments down below. But first, I'm going to go ahead and show you the clothing that I got, the horror shirt and sweatpants. And there are so many amazing horror clothing companies out there now. I keep finding more and more on Instagram. It's a problem now. And they come with like the recommended results and stuff. And there's so many awesome ones that I have to like stop myself. I have to rationalize, like, I have so many horror t-shirts. It's crazy. But these two items are from Cavity Colors. They threw a sticker in right there. Monster Club, and then a bookmark, it looks like, or just, this is from Mars Attacks right there. I assume this could be a bookmark, but I definitely dig that. So definitely check out Cavity Colors. They have some amazing designs, and I had to pick up this Killer Klowns from Outer Space t-shirt. It was one of the very first horror movies that I ever saw. In fact, I have a big poster of it right there signed up, and I've got a bunch of different editions. I'm going to do a whole video for my Killer Klowns from Outer Space collection. I want to say I have, for like movie-wise, physical media-wise, like, I don't know, 8 different editions. But this one right here, they call it the Blood Swirl edition right here, the tie-dye. To me, it's the cotton candy cocoon. It says right down there, trapped in the cotton candy cocoon. I dig the heck out of that. I don't have many tie-dye shirts. This is my second tie-dye shirt. The other one is a John Carpenter The Thing one, which, again, I had to get that. And they're, both horror. And they have a new one, a pizza sauce edition, too, where they have the scene where they're delivering the pizza, which I think is awesome. I really want to get that one, too. But yeah, this one at first, like, pink, I don't know. I don't have much pink clothing. I'm not a pink clothing kind of guy. But this one, I decided to go ahead and do it. And I don't know if blood swirl is the right term for it, because it is pink, not red. Again, I would just say it's a cotton candy cocoon swirl edition. But yeah, they call it blood swirl. But I dig it. Something cool, unique, out of some vibrant colors to my, mostly black horror t-shirt collection. Most of the ones were just regular black t-shirts with a print design. But now you see so many ones using vibrant colors, and especially Cavity Colors. They have so many awesome ones with vibrant colors, and I dig the heck out of that. And I actually have a pillow with the same shot on here from the t-shirt for Killer Klowns from Outer Space, where it actually says the same right down there at the bottom, trapped in a cotton candy cocoon, and that same image, which I love the heck out of this pillow. My girl got this for me, and I love the heck out of it. Super awesome. She got it from Etsy, so big shout out to her for this awesome horror pillow. I actually have a few horror pillows, but that one right there, iconic. It's super cool that I got this t-shirt now with that same image. So, twins right there. Before that, I've got so much Killer Klowns from Outer Space stuff now, not just, the movies and posters and clothing. I've got a few Killer Klowns from Outer Space t-shirts now. But that pillow, super dope. Love the heck out of that. Look at that. Super creepy. But that is such an awesome shot right there. Dig the heck out of both of these. So again, this is the Blood Swirl tie-dye edition for it. There's also like an all pink one without the tie-dye. But yeah, I like this one a little bit more. And I want to get the pizza sauce edition. That one only recently came out after I got this one. So that's another one that I want to get for sure. But there you go. Killer Klowns from Outer Space t-shirts. Let me know if you can recollect the first horror movie you ever watched was. The very first one I ever watched was the original Nightmare on Elm Street. Johnny Depp getting sucked through the bed, the blood splatter coming up to the ceiling. This one to me was probably like my second or third Killer Klowns from Outer Space. And I remember it freaking me out as a kid, but now I just love how cheesy it is. One of my favorite horror comedy movies. That and Blood Diner are probably my two of my top favorite horror comedy movies. I want to see more Blood Diner merchandise. I've got a Fright Rags t-shirt. In fact, I have 2 Fright Rags t-shirts for Blood Diner. I saw some other company releasing a Blood Diner shirt. I just really didn't like the design for it. It didn't fit for the movie. The other ones was, they used on the cover, international covers and stuff like that. This other one was like completely different and just didn't work. But next up, my first horror sweatpants right here. And there you go. The one leg has all the different killer clowns on there. Let me know who your favorite, of the killer clowns are. And I know for forever they've been talking about doing a sequel to this. I remember there was actually a comment recently on one of my videos I was talking about that they're going to be doing a sequel, and somebody gave me like a derogatory comment. Oh, there's still no sequel? What are you talking about? I was like, I'm just telling you what I read and what was reported. There's been talks of so many different sequels for a long time. So Beetlejuice, Goonies, so many different ones that have been whatever issues that have been happening and production side of it too, that we're just not going to know about. But I'd be down to see a sequel for this one, a more modern take on it. I feel like if they do a modern Killer Clowns from Outer Space now, like, is it going to be just more about the gore and reliant on that, or is it just still going to have the same, cheesy, fun elements where it's the good mixture of the horror and comedy? And then on the other leg, though, right there is, the title. It has a back pocket as well. The only thing is, like, it's like kind of like skinny leg. That's my only like kind of criticism about this. I'm not real big in like the skinny leg. I feel like it's more like kind of like hipstery thing to do. Even though like I see rappers are rocking the skinny jeans and stuff now, it weirds me out. I grew up in the baggy pants era. I want my rappers to have baggy pants. That's my I can't ever think that a rapper is tough with skinny jeans. Like, come on. I don't know. That's stuff for girls, I feel like. I'm sorry. It just weirds me out, though. That's just a style, I guess, that's popular now. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm used to baggier sweatpants. But, so, I mean, they fit. They make me look virile, strong, I guess. They're very, defining, if you will. But, yeah, I dig them, though. My first horror sweatpants I've ever had, and again, I love the heck out of that movie. Just so cheesy fun, nostalgic to me. I've got some Funko Pops. I don't want to get all the Funko Pops. Some of them I don't really like the design for, and I try to, again, space is at a premium, and I don't buy all the like there's so many Funko Pops. Let me know if you have any horror clothing, what your favorite horror t-shirt or sweatpants or any kind of horror clothing, hoodie, hat, jacket is. And let me know what your favorite horror Funko Pop is, too. I mostly collect just the horror Funko Pops. There's a few non-horror ones that I have, but like 95% horror. Now let's go ahead and get into the movies. This was a blind buy pickup on Amazon. It was $5. Holy moly, I love the heck out of this movie. Super underrated. I don't hear anybody ever talking about this movie. It's Stifler right here. And he shows that, you can play, outside of that realm of comedic acting. Sean William Scott, I thought he was tremendous in this role. He's essentially a serial killer, and but doing it for the good. He's a school therapist, and he gets involved in a lot of the kids' lives. They're being abused by a parental figure, and he goes up there and takes it out on them essentially. Also, though, he if anybody tries to get between his wife, his family, his newborn son. Then he's going to take care of them as well. And then you also find that, there's a backstory behind that. But I also feel like there's one thing watching this movie that they kind of hint at with the relationship with him and his mother. They give you a little sprinkling of a hint. At least that's what I picked up on. I don't want to, give away too much for it, but I definitely feel like they could have delved a little bit more in there. But I love this one. There's a twist to it as well. There's kind of like a couple twists to it, but I really think this one is an underrated one and definitely worth the pickup, especially for the price point. And the mother is played by Dale Dickey right there. I remember her. She's been in a ton of stuff, but I remember her from like Winter's Bone. She's been in a lot of movies. She's very recognizable. And then again, the name Dale Dickey. But really enjoyed the heck out of this one. Again, the family bond aspect too. And I love how this one plays out at the end. But yeah, I definitely dig the heck out of it. It's a Blumhouse produced film right here. And yeah, this was a surprise to me. Definitely worth the pickup. And one thing people ask me all the time, and I don't understand why people ask me, why do you blind buy a movie? Why do you go to see a movie in the theater or rent a movie on demand that you haven't seen before? It's the same concept, except for this makes more sense to buy a movie, physical media, because you get to keep it if you like it and rewatch it anytime you want. You don't have to worry about it being taken down from whatever streaming network and being censored and edited or taken down completely or any kind of PSA or referendum before the movie. And then also too, if you don't like it, you can resell it. Sometimes movies actually They don't always drop in value. Some of them actually go up in value if it goes out of print or something like that. Or they retain, like, certain Scream Factory, Criterion Collection, I feel like they always retain their value. Oftentimes they go up in value, especially if they go out of print. There's some really good gore in here too. It kind of reminds me of, I don't want to, the gore is way more effective in the Maniac remake, but just the fact that you have an actor, not in a horror, hasn't been in a horror role before, coming out of, being in those kind of, Frodo-esque and, fantasy adventure movies and more family-friendly kind of movies, or, in this case, more comedic roles, to doing a darker role. And I think he did a fantastic job here, Sean William Scott, but just kind of remind me that, an actor coming out of that genre, or, essentially coming from a different one into something that he's not known for and doing just such a superb job. Really tremendous performance from him, very nuanced, very brooding, and I just thought it was spot on, and I really enjoyed the heck out of this one. Definitely worth the pickup. Underrated. Next up is one that I haven't seen in a while, but I remember thinking this is like one of the more disturbing mainstream movies that I've seen. I really enjoyed this one, but there were some freaky scenes in here, some dark scenes, some disturbing stuff. The ending is a little inside the womb scene, but a lot of people crap on Ashton Kutcher as an actor, but I think he did a tremendous job here. I always liked him as Kelso in that 70s show. I thought, to be the, kind of like the buffoonish character, you have to be a good actor who's so believable in that role. And I thought he was amazing here. It's basically about this guy, he's got some memories he's trying to rediscover that he kind of blocked out from his childhood. And he's like reading his journal, and he finds that he can travel back in time and alter things. But when he comes back to present, everything has changed. There's a scene where he wakes up and he's missing limbs, and there's a scene with a dog that always bothered me, and the scene with the one character in the basement and the filming, that was disturbing. There's a bunch of disturbing scenes in here. And I remember watching this when I was younger, and just it freaking me out a bit. And I was like, oh, I gotta kind of wash my movie palette out after this and watch some like Disney movies or something. And a bunch of special features on here. There's the director's cut of the film as well. Amy Smart is so absolutely stunning. I'm a big fan of hers, but yeah, this one is to me, a darker, more. I'm trying to think of like mainstream movies that were disturbing to me, like weren't necessarily like out of the realm of independent and international. Like I feel like more of the disturbing films that I've seen have been international films and even some independent films and stuff like that. But yeah, this is definitely one that I love the heck out of, and I'm not sure if I've ever seen the director's cut actually. So yeah, I'm gonna check that out, revisit this one. Yeah, I just remember it being certain scenes just sticking out in my mind as being, disturbing. Again, some of the ones that I mentioned, but really enjoying this film. I would, consider this one to be a sci-fi horror. You could say sci-fi thriller, but it definitely has some horrific elements going on here, and a lot of the dramatics as well. So it definitely plays those up. And one thing I do want to say, Bloodline, this was directed by Henry Jacobson. Just popped into my mind. I was like looking for the director on here. This was his feature-length film directorial debut. He did a couple documentaries and a short. So I was really surprised by that. I would love to see him continue in the horror realm. But this one right here was directed, two directors, J. Mackie Gruber and then Eric Bress. Eric Bress, I think, directed a film recently, and then I think neither one of them did too much directing wise, but I think he did like a war horror movie recently, Eric Bress. But yeah, this to me was a mainstream disturbing movie. Let me know what the most disturbing mainstream Hollywood movie is that you've seen. Another one I think of all the time for being like mainstream Hollywood disturbing is Requiem for a Dream, especially Jared Leto, the arm scene at the end. Oh, it just gives me like the heebie-jeebies thinking about that one. But yeah, those are a couple examples that pop into my mind. Not too many like straightforward horror movies I found to be like disturbing. So those are just a couple ones that pop out in my mind. This one for sure. But yeah, definitely let me know most disturbing mainstream Hollywood movie that you've seen. Next up is The Dark and the Wicked. To me, this was the best horror movie of 2020. The ending I don't mind when there's some ambiguity, and I don't necessarily need to be spoon-fed and have a completely neatly tied up ending, but there was nothing explained here. You could try to make up your own results and theories, but none of them truly fully fit. And this is directed by Brian Bertino, who directed, of course, The Strangers. It's right there, front and center on the top. And he also directed Mockingbird, which I did a movie review on my channel like 6 years ago. So check that out. He also directed the movie The Monster. So this is his fourth film. I also think about, this movie and then The Strangers, they both use a bit of ambiguity for the ending. This one, much more in my opinion. But this one was so creepy to me. One of the creepiest movies I've ever seen. This and Hereditary stick out to be like two of the creepiest horror movies, especially modern-wise, but not just modern-wise, like of all time. It's basically about this family, brother and sister, who go to this old farm, and the mother doesn't want them to come there. She's, insisting that they stay away. The father is really sick and bedridden, and they decide to go there, and right away, strange, creepy things start happening. And then they find her mom, hanging from the rafters with a noose around her neck, and like the side of the farm area over there. And I remember the very first time I watched this, there's a quick shot, I noticed it right away, of a face in the farm where it's like, was it the sheep or the goats? I can't remember now, but it was, just a real quick shot, and there's some really quick, weird things that happen, and there's some violent things that happen, and it's just really unsettling. And there's a bunch of things that weren't fully explained in this movie by the ending. And it just kind of it irritated me a bit, but I still love the movie. Like there's a scene where there's a phone call with a certain character, and they say, the one character says, "Oh, that was the name of my daughter." And like, how does that tie in? And there's so many other things that are like loose ends here. Again, I don't mind when things aren't neatly tied up or spoon-fed, and there's some ambiguity, but this one I wish there was some answer here, because the theories don't fully fit. You can say these certain things, you can try to figure out, and I like when movies make you think like that and try to figure things out, but this one to me, I wanted something here, and they don't really give it to you at the end. So yeah, there's definitely a dark cloud over this farm that they're at, and the priest character is really good too. Yeah, I definitely enjoyed the heck out of this one. It's super creepy, super dark, and some good violence in here. But it's really that underlying feeling of dread and tension. But if you're looking for a movie that's all neatly tied up at the end, this isn't for you then, because it's not that way. But again, I feel like it is super creepy. It kind of has that like nihilistic feel to it. Yeah, I love the heck out of this one. My favorite horror movie of 2020, and to me, one of the creepiest horror movies, not just recent years, but of all time. Same thing with Hereditary. Those would be two of like the creepiest horror movies ever for me. Let me know what the creepiest horror movie is to you. Different from the scariest. Next up is The Owners, and this is directed by Julius Berg, and this is their feature-length film directorial debut as well. They did a bunch of TV stuff and some shorts. The main reason to watch this movie is Maisie Williams, Arya from Game of Thrones. She's the lead here, and it's a mixed bag film. This was a blind buy, a home invasion movie where the tables are turned. This group of kids right here, they break into this doctor's house. This is a British film, and this old couple, you find out they're a little devious and out of their minds. The old woman freaked me the heck out in this film. I've been finding recently that old people, that should be like a subgenre of horror, and they're freaking me out. M. Night Shyamalan's The Visit, The Taking of Deborah Logan, those are two movies that come to mind. This one though, she really like stood out. There's like two scenes in here, one specifically that she freaked me out so much in this one. And at first, they're kind of playing that they're feeble and, please don't hurt me, but they quickly turn the tide. And one thing I hated, there's this one character, I assume he's learning disabled by how he acts. I hate how that played out. It pissed me off so freaking much. But I still like the movie. I like Maisie Williams as an actress. I've seen a bunch of people before in movies before I even saw Game of Thrones. I only recently watched Game of Thrones. Binged it, love it, can't wait for more. I know they're going to be doing like the kind of like a prequel series for it, and I'm so excited for it. It's not going to have the same actors, although it technically could have some of the same actors, but I'm not sure how far in advance it is. But if it was the story with the Mad King, Kingslayer could be in there, Netter could be in, a few people could be in there still, but yeah, I'm excited. I can't believe I waited so long to watch Game of Thrones, but I thought Maisie Williams did a really good job here. I think she's a talented young actress. I definitely look forward to seeing more from her, as well as seeing more from Julius Berg too. It's a little above average. I definitely wanted more from it, especially the way that it plays out. There's a lot more they could have done with it, but there's one scene that was really jarring and unexpected. And then again, I thought the older lady was really creepy, especially in a couple certain scenes here. But yeah, they're essentially, they're trying to get out of the house once they break in, and the old couple traps them in there. And yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. I wanted more from it though. This isn't a great film. It's not groundbreaking, but again, I like her as a lead actress. I thought it had some good tension and suspense there, but it could have been a lot better. And then the one guy in here who was like one of the lead of the bad guys, Gaz, I think his name was. That guy should be a villain in every movie. The look to him, especially in here, just super creepy looking. Yeah, super shady looking. But yeah, I definitely enjoy this one, but it's not great. At least worth a one-time watch, but it's one that I'm going to keep in my collection for now because it had enough suspense in there that I enjoyed, and I thought she did a really good job. Last, but far from least, is the Dog Soldiers DVD Steelbook signed by director Neil Marshall. And I bought this from another collector, and they included paperwork from the signing right here from 2013, which is, they have like the receipt and stuff down there, which was super cool. I appreciate that. And it was for a shop in California called Dark Delicacies. They do a lot of signings there, or at least they did before everything that happened in the world recently. I've actually gotten stuff from them before. They'll ship to you sometimes, not always. Sometimes they'll ship to you. And you pay extra for the shipping, of course. But they're really nice people. I've talked to Del and his wife before. Sue, I believe her name is. They've been there for a long time. A fixture in the horror community, especially in California. But to me, Dog Soldiers is one of the best werewolf movies ever. Let me know what your favorite werewolf movie is. And speaking of, let me know what your favorite clown horror movie is. I've got Killer Klowns from Outer Space stuff right here, and then Mockingbird, directed by Brian Bertino, also had a clown in there. But everybody's gonna say Terrifier. I love Terrifier. I love Art the Clown, but I definitely prefer All Hallows Eve, which was the first movie to feature Art the Clown. All Hallows Eve is a great Halloween horror anthology movie. Definitely check that one out. A different actor played Art the Clown in that one, but same director, Damien Leone. And I can't wait for Terrifier 2. Terrifier had some of the most amazing gore ever, but I thought it was a very basic story and more reliant on the gore. But Art the Clown was amazing. A horror icon. I thought he was a horror icon just from All Hallows Eve. But yeah, I like the storyline much better in All Hallows Eve. But yeah, that's going to be definitely a pick for, favorite clown horror movie. And then the movie Clown was actually really good. Wasn't directed by Eli Roth, but he was a producer. The guy that created the short initially, when he put it online, he said it was directed by Eli Roth. And that got the attention of Eli Roth, and reached out to him, and they decided to make a feature film. I'm so glad they did, because Clown is super creepy too. And of course, It, the original miniseries, and then It Chapter 1 and 2, the recent movies, definitely freaky. The miniseries never freaked me out or scared me as a kid. I thought it had really good storytelling. I liked the actors. But if I watched It Chapter 1 and 2 as a little kid, those movies would freak me the heck out. Those movies are terrifying for, especially a younger audience. I couldn't imagine watching them as a little kid. But yeah, so those are just some, clown horror movies that I feel like are super popular. But let me know what your favorite clown horror movie is. Again, Killer Klowns from Outer Space, you can throw that in there for sure. It's a classic. Mockingbird, again, there is a clown character in there, but there's been some other clown horror movies too. I've seen a bunch of low budget independent ones that I haven't been a big fan of. There's Killjoy too, if you like full moon features. But back to Dog Soldiers. Love this movie so much. There's been a couple other recent good werewolf movies. Late Phases, Howl, another British werewolf movie. And then if you want to include The Wolf of Snow Hollow, I really enjoyed the heck out of that movie. A very unique and different take on the werewolf genre. I would definitely recommend checking that one out. Dog Soldiers, though, for me, one of my favorite werewolf movies, probably number 2 for me, behind An American Werewolf in London. And I do like An American Werewolf in Paris, and I'd love to see that get a Blu-ray release. I feel like the Blu-ray releases for Dog Soldiers were both problematic, including the Scream Factory release with the transfer. When Silver Bullet would be another one I would put on my list that just popped into my mind. I remember loving that one as a kid, but there's some really good... actually, there's not that many good werewolf movies. I feel like, Bad Moon is another one. But yeah, I want to say there's maybe about like 10 good werewolf movies. Wolf, Jack Nicholson, I'll throw that one in there too. There's a bunch of ones that, you want to do the classic Universal monsters too, Wolfman. But I don't know, there's a bunch of ones that, again, fall flat. But Dog Soldiers, easily one of the best in my opinion. British werewolf movie. And Neil Marshall, I love to get this signed up. I'm a big fan of getting movies that I love signed by, the director or actor, somebody involved with the film. So I dig that. And I've got a bunch of signed movies and signed memorabilia and stuff like that. I've got sports memorabilia too. I recently sold the majority of my signed baseballs. I had a whole Hall of Fame signed baseball collection and a bunch of other signed baseballs and stuff like that. But I still have a ton of, I didn't sell any of my horror movies signed up or anything like that. I've got some Funko Pops signed up too. But yeah, Dog Soldiers, a really good werewolf movie. There's a group of military soldiers. They're essentially, assigned to find and like a rescue mission, essentially find another team that was slaughtered, essentially. And there's like a secret mission there, and they're in the middle of nowhere, a rural area in the woods, and they find werewolves are real, and they kind of hole up in this house with the help of this woman that they come across. And I really dig the heck out of this one. And yeah, am I the only one that enjoys An American Werewolf in Paris? That movie gets crapped on so much, but I really enjoy the heck out of it. And An American Werewolf in London, obviously an all-time classic. The transformation scene, there's some good elements of comedy in there too. The Nazi scene just freaked me out so much as a kid. So yeah, I definitely enjoy the heck out of this one. Again, Neil Marshall, an amazing director. He also directed The Descent, which one of my favorites, modern horror movies. Anything I would say, post 2000, I consider to be modern. And then he also directed a couple episodes of Game of Thrones. In fact, one of my favorite episodes of Game of Thrones as well. So yeah, I thought he did an amazing job here. I love the look to the werewolves, super creepy. I would love to see this get another Blu-ray release with a really good transfer. Maybe, again, it might be an issue with the source material. Maybe that's part of it. But yeah, definitely a classic werewolf movie. Easily one of the best. But yeah, let me know your favorite clown horror movie. Let me know your favorite underrated horror movie. Favorite mainstream Hollywood disturbing movie. Let me know what you consider to be the creepiest horror movie or creepiest movie in general. The Fourth Kind creeped me out a lot too. Let me know your favorite home invasion movie. Your Next is one that I really love. Again, let me know your favorite werewolf movie. So there you go. Those are the pickups. I've got some horror clothing here from Cavity Colors. Check them out. They do some amazing designs. I want to get so many more shirts from them in particular, but there's so many other great clothing companies out there releasing now, and I'm very thankful, but my wallet is crying just a little bit. Maybe I'll do a video showing all of my horror t-shirts as well, because they're mostly horror. I don't really have, this is my first sweatpants. I don't think I have any hoodies, or I have a beanie, but I think they're all shirts outside of that. I have some long sleeve ones and baseball ones, baseball tees, but still in the horror shirt realm. I'll do a whole video for that one day. But there you go. Those are the pickups. Let me know also too if you have any signed Blu-rays or DVDs and what your favorite signed movie in your collection is. I can't wait for conventions to come back too. I love meeting people that I'm a fan of and getting their signatures on movies that I'm a big fan of as well. So there you go. Those are the pickups. I thought there was some really good stuff in here. Very excited for this collection update. Let me know what you think of them, the movies, if you've seen them, and then what your favorite is as well, pickup wise, not just the movies. It could be the shirts or the sweatpants too. Let me know. Leave me those comments down below, and I hope everybody's doing well. Take care.